Well, in terms of solutions, what I can say from the Interreg Northwest Europe program is that we have available funding on a priority to dealing with energy poverty for all those who are interested to tackle this challenge together on a transnational level and to contribute to finding suitable and common solutions for different European territories.
Yeah, so I think that the local level of a city is a very a good level for combating energy poverty. Because at like a city level, we know the people who are in our city. We know what the challenges they face. We know also maybe the social structures, and we have already certain, advice and help available for them. Also in other areas that are related to poverty. So the energy poverty approach in Arnhem consists of 3 pillars. So first we have the energy coach. The energy coach goes into the households of people, so they help them really like on a personal level, and it starts with just like connecting, building trust, and the energy coach explains like how does an energy bill look like, and also how can you get like grip on energy. Because many people, they don't really understand the energy bill. Maybe if they also have a background as a migrant, they come from a country where the energy system is very different, and they can't fully get a grip on the energy bill. So the energy coach gives also tips on how they can reduce energy by changing their behavior, and it installs some like small energy saving products, like for example changing a bulb or putting a foil behind the radiator to keep the heat in. So that's the first pillar. The second pillar we have is local teams of handymen. They install some bigger energy saving products. For example, they can put up curtains to save energy. They can change also the installation of the whole heating system in the house to optimize it. And therefore, these measures are a little bit bigger. So we sometimes also combine them. So first the energy coach comes in to really help the citizen get grip on the energy bill, and then the handyman installs some bigger measures. So in that way they can save energy. And then the third pillar that we have is community development around also the theme of energy. Because we've seen that if we want to reach the most vulnerable households in our own city, we can do some advertisement and it will help a little bit, but we won't reach like the most vulnerable ones. So we know we have to work with the community that's already there, with our partners that are very much like not even on city level, but even on neighborhood level. And what is also very beautiful about this is that because we work with these partners, vulnerable households can also get connected to other things in their neighborhood. For example, a community center or first steps to maybe work again if they don't have paid work. And we see that it really like adds up. Whereas people who are approached by just saying like, oh, you're poor, or you need assistance, you need help, they might shut the door. But if we come in with the theme of energy, which is really like more of a theme where you can see the chances for yourself and get them, this can be like a first step to getting control again of your financial situation, but also of your well-being and your health. So that's what we do in Arnhem. RESCoop EU is the European Federation of Energy Cooperatives. So what we try to do is get people in vulnerable situations more involved in the energy transition. So what we really stand for is a democratization of the energy system and of energy decision making. So that is also why we actively search for mechanisms to get more diverse group of people involved in the energy transition, but also in decision making, in owning the energy assets. And that's basically one of our key focuses in the past couple of years.
So as the Energy Poverty Advisory Hub, we decided today to show one of the technical assistances we are working with, that is focused on energy communities, because mainly the interest of today was focusing on the energy communities topic and how to involve vulnerable consumers to have a real concrete participation in deciding their energy situation. However, what I would like to stress more is that often to tackle energy poverty, it's needed to address different solutions at the same time. And in our methodology, we are inviting local authorities to, when they are in the moment of planning their future actions, to use a different system to prioritize a solution. Because sometimes the action that is the most impactful cannot be feasible for budget reasons or for other legislative system that is not facilitating it, while there are other actions that can be deployed faster and reach a first impact in anticipation. So we always welcome municipalities to look all the spectrum of possibilities and then set 2, 3 to prioritize. So for us today it was energy communities, but we also invite cities to look abroad and look at other possible activities.
We are bringing experience. So I am the Chief Executive of a community energy organisation from Plymouth in England. We have been working actively on fuel poverty for 10 years. And so my job today is, I guess, to share the benefit of what we've learned from that in terms of building a community that tackles not only affordable warmth and people's problems with cold, damp homes, but also how do we join those agendas with the issues associated with renewable energy generation.
I'm not really bringing one solution to the conference, but more information on the different ways the municipality can foster the development of energy communities in their territory. So these municipalities have a lot of opportunities when it comes to facilitating the work of energy communities. They can provide direct support. They can also become member of the community, but they can also act in an indirect way. So for example, by making information accessible via one-stop shop to the development of energy communities in their city. I think one of the best aspects of a municipality getting involved in a project is the potential to involve energy poor households so that they can make the most of energy communities without necessarily being a member if they don't have the means, or by becoming a member thanks to the development of innovative ways for them to be able to do so.
Alors nous apportons le lancement d'une expérience ici à Liège, l'expérience de la mise en œuvre d'une communauté d'énergie dans le quartier Saint-Laurent. Alors nous sommes 2 associations qui accompagnons les personnes en difficulté de logement. Et sur le quartier Saint-Laurent, nous disposons de 6 bâtiments. Dans ces bâtiments qui sont composés de maisons d'accueil, abris de nuit, logements, nous hébergeons et nous accueillons bon nombre de publics et nous disposons déjà d'une partie de panneaux photovoltaïques. Ces panneaux produisent de l'électricité dont 50% est remis sur le réseau, alors qu'avec l'apport dont nous pourrions bénéficier, nous pourrions augmenter l'offre de services à notre public. Donc nous avons ici aussi un quartier où il y a une mixité sociale et nous avons déjà des voisins, propriétaires de leur habitation qui sont intéressés à rentrer dans cette réflexion d'une communauté d'énergie. Nous envisageons aussi plusieurs apports. D'abord un apport social, puisque c'est la rencontre avec les citoyens, l'analyse de ce qu'est leur confort dans leur lieu de vie, comment améliorer leur comportement, les équipements techniques. Et donc nous avons aussi un accompagnement technique pour ce faire. Nous avons un architecte et un ingénieur qui vont pouvoir aussi accompagner des travaux de rénovation dans les habitations. Et nous avons aussi la collaboration du laboratoire de l'université qui s'appelle le Lucide, qui a développé un serious game pour appréhender justement tous les comportements, toute l'image mentale que les citoyens peuvent se faire en rentrant dans une communauté d'énergie et la confronter à la réalité. Donc on va ici vraiment expérimenter ce qu'est de rentrer dans une communauté d'énergie, de faire communauté avec son envie au départ de faire des économies financières et surtout l'apport que ça va pouvoir avoir. Alors, on a ciblé aussi ce quartier parce qu'il y a peu de commerce, donc peu de possibilités pour les gens de se rencontrer. Il y a aussi, c'est un quartier qui est coupé par une autoroute et qui a très peu de parcs et de lieux de rencontre. Donc nous voulons aussi briser cet isolement social.
Donc les coopératives citoyennes d'énergie renouvelable membres de RESCoop Wallonie sont dans les faits des communautés d'énergie qui sont déjà installées, qui ont déjà une expérience probante. Elles ont, dans le cas des communautés d'énergie renouvelable, déjà pas mal de nouvelles réflexions à venir au niveau théorique, mais dans les faits ont déjà développé pas mal d'outils, comme par exemple une coopérative Coréneuve qui est active dans la rénovation énergétique et qui vise à soutenir les communes et les citoyens dans la rénovation des bâtiments. Un deuxième outil, c'est le fournisseur cositaire qui permet aux coopérateurs d'avoir accès à l'énergie à un prix vraiment maîtrisé, ce qui permettait par exemple pendant la crise d'avoir l'énergie la moins chère du marché.